All right. Welcome to another Pro Football Doc Sports Injury Central podcast. Special guest here with me today. And we have some of the usual crew. Taylor's here. Doug, Mr. New Zealand accent. Just kidding. Aussie accent. Will chime in for Jacob. He's on vacation in Europe. And our producer, Justin. But let's start off with our special guest here. Nobody guessed who it was. I put out a little promotion on Twitter. Here it is.
Oh, really?
This is his son, Jackson. And for those of you guys looking, this is our kids, my twins' 5th birthday party. So how old is Jackson in that picture, you think?
I would say, he's 8?
Yeah. So anyways, it's a little kid carnival birthday party, and it's like tip a troll, and they're throwing little sandbags or balls on the little troll here. And Jackson, who's 8, this is set up for 5-year-olds. Jackson's like trying to win all the prizes. So I spontaneously said to him, for those on audio who can't see, he said, like, no, you got to go over here like your dad, long snapper. So he goes between his legs about, 12 feet out, nails the troll on the first shot.
Knocks
right
it
there.
down.
So,
yeah, it's natural.
Natural,
it's
just like
genes.
that. So
yeah.
The guy next to me here, before I say his name, I think is actually, I can't believe I haven't had you on. I mean, you live by, we've been friends. He's let's keep using some clues. I actually think you have a super interesting life, if you think about this. You're the all-time greatest most games played Charger.
True.
And actually, I looked at the stat of that here, 256 games. Not
bad. Pretty good run.
More than Seau, more than Cyphers, more than Rivers, and I didn't realize Rivers and Gates. This is a more than a Hank Aaron record. This isn't going to be broken.
It's going to stand for a while. I dodged Rivers. Rivers was worrying me a little bit, and then I think he missed some games with injury. He didn't quite get as many years overall, but. Yeah, Gates and Rivers were threatening, but it's going to be a while now. Maybe Herbert will have a chance. Like, what?
Maybe. I don't know. It's a long time. It's a long time. Although there are 17 games now, so they get a little advantage. And, heck, when you started, it was probably, 14 games? Just joking.
16. But I had to play all the preseason games. I really think I should be up over 300.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
They ought to count those because, Rivers, LT, Seau, they didn't play preseason. Or maybe a few series here and there. I had to play the entire game. I'd be in there in fourth quarter, punting backed up out of the end zone. Everybody else is pads off, eating hot dogs, drinking beers in the locker room at halftime. And I got to go back out there and everybody's cutting up, and I'm like, man, if I mess this snap up, I'll probably get cut. So I had to play every game to the last.
Yeah, and that's a good point, actually. I wouldn't think about that in the preseason. But I suppose it was a good thing that you didn't have another snapper in there so that you had to.
Yeah, no, that's the positive. I always looked at it that way. But sometimes I thought it'd be fun to have the pads off and smoking a cigar on the sideline.
Would you rather have the pads off and have competition or not have competition?
No, probably not competition. It kept me mentally tough. It just, kept me focused, and it was good practice for the season.
So anyways, David Binn, all-time Chargers, most games all-time for the Chargers, a record that probably won't be broken. Long snapper, who made a lot of tackles, who actually is also a backup quarterback for practice and otherwise.
Yeah, that was the fun part, playing quarterback.
Playing quarterback or hitting the driving range between practices?
That was a good perk too. But throwing pat and go pregame and then warming up the running backs and doing all that stuff was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I could see that. So you made an interesting comment about if you mess up a snap, right, including preseason. I don't know if you remember this. We went to the Masters once, Augusta, and for those who don't know, Dave's a big golfer, big hitter, big golfer. I am not at all. We get to Augusta, and there were some twists and turns, and I remember you got there.
Twists and turns, meaning
Well,
wasn't quite sure if we were going to actually.
Oh, you weren't sure. I was sure.
Enter the gates.
I was sure. Like my guy that hooks us up, he's, there's some twists and turns, but I knew we'd get in there. Anyways, you're out there. We're out there early on Sunday, final day, and the guys who tee off early are the guys that are out of contention, right? And you made an observation like, look, this guy's got the greatest job in the world. Like, he's playing golf at Augusta on Sunday, and he looks kind of pissed off. Like, he's not that happy to be there. And I remember saying to you, Dave, a lot of people tell me you have the greatest job in the world as a long snapper, right? And that was one comment that so – and your life is pretty good. We'll get to that in a second. I think it's really interesting and all the things you've done. But the other thing that got me was like, God, I can't believe that guy. He missed that 3-foot putt, and it probably cost him $10,000 or something, in terms of standings. I'm like, Dave, you mess up a snap, and you're on the bubble. You miss 2 putts, you're out of the league. You're like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. So I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But
yeah, no, I always had that in the back of my mind. On a short leash, I remember Brad St. Louis was with the Bengals for a long time and was a Pro Bowl player. He's like a draft pick. I think he was in the 5th round, and he messed up a snap. I believe it was like on a PAT. Cost him a point, ended up costing him the game, and then the next week he messed up like a field goal snap and cost him a game or like put him into overtime or something, and he was cut.
Yeah, that's
the Monday after that.
That's the way it is. I mean, and I don't think people know the precision of how you did your craft. I mean, it's not just laces out or this, that, the other. It's like 7.5 revolutions or whatever it is of the football, whatever it is, that to get to the holder, like
2 3/4.
2 3/4 or whatever. It's okay. There you go. Like close. I was within a magnitude of 10. Like, hey, look, I'm not long snapping anything. I don't think I could bend over and touch the ground, et cetera. But my point is, everything is very precise.
Yeah, and consistency. Like I was saying, like you're not out there a lot, but when you are, like you don't really have much of a leash to mess up, and you're expected to do your job, and it cuts both ways. Like it's great to have that position as just a position, but at the same time, you got to perform, and if you don't, you're gone.
Yeah, well, you obviously had the right temperament because. Unflappable, cool. I don't think your pulse ever got above 60 ever. Just mellow.
Resting 54. No, I mean, I would get nervous for sure. I just try to like keep it, use it as a positive energy. Kind of go through your routine. It's similar to golf that way. Is you kind of have a bit of a routine and a process that you go through because it's a repetitive thing that you do. It's like golfers, and similarly, it's not reactive. Like you start the motion, which kind of makes it hard sometimes. Whereas like if you're a receiver, you run your route, you turn around, the ball's there. You kind of just catch it like as a reaction, and stuff is happening. But with snapping, I have the ball and I can snap it whenever I want, and so sometimes that can get in your head a little bit. Like if you're not quite ready, and you don't want to like go on the same rhythm every time so the defense can key off of that ball. So you try to vary it a little bit, but I don't know. It can kind of get in your head a little bit if you're not ready to snap and then you're supposed to snap and you haven't snapped it yet. And then so that could go through your head like 100 times in about a half a second. And I actually went through that for a little bit one year for like 3-4 weeks. I was kind of like in a slump, really, but I don't think anybody else really knew about it except for Carney and Bennett, no coaches. There was never a disastrous snap, but I was throwing some knuckleballs and the location was a little bit off. And it was tough. Like I thought, this could be the end. Like, I felt like I was on the verge of
like
really
the yips or something.
Throwing a disastrous snap. Yeah, kind of like the yips.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a rough time, but I got through it. Turned it around and made it through, and then I was fine after that.
I didn't know that at all, but I think it's really interesting in a league where you literally have inside linebacker coaches and outside linebacker coaches, right? You have all these coaches, and then you have the special teams coordinator and the special teams coaches, but none of them really do anything with the long snapper, kicker, or punter. They just said, you guys go figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever coaches those positions, and I think our buddy Mike is starting to do that around the league. But I think that's a necessary thing. I mean, in this era of specialization, literally the coaches, I've never seen a special teams coordinator or coach say anything to the kicker or punter, much less the long snapper. It's just, you guys go do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way it is. We kind of like self-coach a lot, or they'll be like, outside kickers and punters that that are friends or you kind of bounce ideas off of. But yeah, it's a weird little kind of subculture of the team, and a lot of times we're like off on the other field, just the three of us working together, which is kind of the way we like it.
Working together or golfing together? No,
yeah, golfing together. Playing golf with the football. We had some fun games over on the other field.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like frisbee golf, but using the goalpost as the target, stuff like that. But no, it's great. Like, we do our job, and we can put as much work. Sometimes you need to put a little bit more time in. Sometimes you don't. Like, if you're good, you're good, and that's it. It's nice not to have somebody like looking over your shoulder.
Well, but Dave Binn, even though you're the all-time Charger, might be as famous or more famous for being in People magazine.
Oh, really? We're going there already.
You're ready for it. I had to probably know.
I mean, come on, right? I mean, dated Pamela Anderson.
It's a fact, yeah.
People magazine. I mean, I've got it. I got it right here. No, the reason why he's giving me a hard time is, we know each other pretty well, and his wife and whatever. So it's probably not her favorite topic to have on there. But that's pretty. I mean, she's actually really good about it. Do you remember the 40th birthday roast? Oh yeah. Oh no, she's good with it. I mean, she's good with it. The 40th birthday roast for sure, and you got me pretty good at mine. So it was all good.
If I remember, your wife Kim was wearing the Baywatch swimsuit.
Oh, she was
night, dressed as Pam.
For you, yes.
For
she came
me.
as Pam Anderson.
Yes.
Baywatch at your roast for your 40th. And I remember multiple guys roasting Dave, and he's cool, calm, collected, the whole deal. But multiple guys roasting you for finding 2-year-old paychecks in your locker.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Digging in. Oh, look what I found.
2 years old. Maybe it was 2 months old, but whatever.
I seem to remember hearing 2 years old, but that's perfectly fine. And so I have to ask you, you're Pro Bowl long snapper, and that year Bill Belichick was the coach. Mm-hmm. So he said what to you? What were Bill's words to you? So the background is the head coach gets to pick the extra, special teamers, the long snappers, and usually they pick good guys or guys that are the kickers are there, whatever. And so you were chosen, a great honor by Coach Belichick, to be the AFC representative, long snapper.
Yeah, they started picking long. I think there was a Pro Bowl game where the game was messed up by a snap or something, and because back then they would pick maybe an extra special teams guy like a Kasim Osgood if he didn't get voted in, or a kick returner or something, but there was a bad snap. So I don't know, a few years prior to me doing it, they kind of just started always picking a snapper. So anyway, I had a good year. That was the year we lost to the Patriots at home, 14-2, best team we ever had in San Diego.
I know.
The
interception, run back, fumble.
Yes, that one. So anyway, I get a call from Bill's guy. I forget his name, Sturge or something like that.
So Bill, the Patriots lost in the AFC championship game to the Colts, who, by the way, we own the Colts.
Yes.
And so the Patriots coaching staff is the AFC Pro Bowl coaches.
Yes. And so I get a call from him and invited me out to be the long snapper for the AFC Pro Bowl, and I was honored, and I had a really good year that year, and so you know, I thought I deserved it, and get out there to Hawaii, and you know, it's first class all the way, and I'm out there. It's just Hall of Famers left and right, and then there's me. I kind of felt a little bit like an imposter, but I was going to soak it in and have a great time. And there's a ton of guys on the team that year from our team.
Yeah.
There was, I think, 10 or 11. I mean, Nate Kading and Marcus McNeil, Lorenzo Neal, LT, Rivers, Gates.
Lights, yeah. I mean, ton of
Lights, yeah. So anyway, first practice, which is like nothing. You just kind of like stretch, you mess around a little bit, and you walk off the field. I'm coming off, and I'm walking by Bill, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Hey, where's your girlfriend?" And I said, "Oh, Pam, she didn't come out." He goes, "Remind me why the I invited you out here then?" And he gave me this deadpan look. And I thought he was kidding, but he didn't crack a smile. And then I was like, wait, he's serious? Is he kidding? I just walked off like I couldn't figure it out. Like,
you didn't say anything back to him?
I think I just laughed it off. And I was like, wait, what? You really wanted me to bring Pam? Shit. Should I call her? Should I call her right now? Yeah, that was it. You know, I was just like, fuck.
Well,
maybe that is why he invited me out.
No, well, I don't know if I've gotten to know Belichick pretty well over the years at different occasions, but that's just totally him.
Yeah.
It's like 10% rule. He clearly picked you, I think, because you were really good. But then the differentiator was, maybe Pam's coming too, right? I mean, it wasn't like you were a bad long snapper and he's going to pick you because of Pam. But he's like, well, I can pick this guy, this guy. Oh, well, this is
tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker. Yeah. So I'm glad you confirmed it. I've always heard those stories and this, that, the other, but
it's on his Wikipedia page. Everybody knows who's going to look. It's there.
Oh, that Belichick said that?
No, about the Pam Anderson.
Oh, everyone knows about Pam Anderson. That's not a secret. That might be the lead thing when you say Dave Binn. I mean, et cetera. But I'm talking the Pro Bowl story where Bill deadpan. Why the F do you think we brought you here, or whatever he said. But as intriguing as that is, I don't know how many people know this, but how many people who are all-time football player, 256 games, and then go on to graduate Fire Rescue Academy, be a full-fledged, bona fide firefighter at, pardon me, but an advanced age. Nobody becomes that at your age and goes through the young guy training and full-fledged firefighter. So
I think I was 43 going through the academy, 44. And I went into it with a pulled calf, which was tough because we had to do the 3-mile run right out of the gate. But yeah, no, it was just something that I always wanted to do. I knew a couple guys from college that had gone into it. And then when I was at Cal, there was a big fire in the Oakland Hills. It was like the day after we played University of Washington at home, lost in a close game. The next day we wake up and there's like smoke coming up over the hill, and it was that huge fire. Oakland Hills burned like 2,000 structures, killed some people. Everybody was kind of evacuating, and me and some buddies like got on our little scooters, snuck through the police barricades, and wound our way up into where the fire was. And the first engine crews we came upon, were like, "Hey, you guys need any help?" And I thought they were just gonna tell us, no, you can't be up here, too dangerous, you guys aren't qualified, you're civilian, liability, this, that, and the other. And they immediately just said, yeah, grab those hoses, let's go. And we just ran with them. They needed help and they weren't afraid to take it. And next thing I know, we're shadowing these guys, we're attaching hose lines, getting water, putting water on the flames, helicopter water drops on our heads. And we were up there for hours, all the way till probably 8, 9 at night. We were up there probably 8, 9 hours until it's kind of under control at that point. And and that experience, it was a mix of fear, adrenaline, and feeling like we were doing something good, protecting the community, helping when it was needed. And that always kind of stuck with me as something really cool.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's really cool. But I always thought one of the reasons you want to do the fire stuff, besides it's another challenge, I didn't know about that. But I think firefighting along the team and at the station, it's a little bit like locker room and there's a game, right?
Yeah.
And the fire bell rings and it's the kickoff to a game. There's definitely some similarities there.
Yeah, that's a big factor too.
And it's not fire, it's fire and rescue. So you did a lot of medical stuff, like paramedic stuff. And to the point where he would start texting me and saying, "No, I think this guy has this on the football field." He was making right. You were making medical diagnosis, or saying, "No, I think he broke his shoulder, broke his collarbone." I'm like, "No, I think it's his AC joint." And we used to banter on that.
A little bit of that. That's more probably just from my playing experience and seeing injuries than the medical stuff. But
I noticed the increase in
get more
with the fire rescue when you were doing all your medical training.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was some fun medical calls. We end up in the trauma center, with the whole team coming in. This one guy had stabbed himself a few times, had like spurting, arteries and stuff, and a lot of that was fun and interesting, and helping people. Some simple calls like helping a kid was stuck at the playground. His knee was stuck in the vertical bars on the playground, couldn't get out. We brought the hydraulic, they call it the jaws of life, whatever, and spread the bars and popped him out. And he was like so happy, and simple stuff like that was fun. It was a great experience. Learned a lot, and then I ended up retiring. And there was some, things that were going on with me that I kind of started feeling uncomfortable with. Like I was forgetting stuff. My body was starting to kind of break down a little bit. Aches and pains, injuries, my back. Went through some vertigo, so I ended up retiring from the fire service after.
Still pretty cool. Firefighter, all-time charger, Pam Anderson. And why are you letting Danny Woodhead show you? Why aren't you qualifying for the U.S. Open?
I know. I read that. I didn't know. He must have got a lot better since last time I played with him.
Wow.
I played with him in the. Who was hosting? Marshall Falk up at La Costa. We played together, and he was like all right, but and then I just read that he qualified for the second stage of the Open, right?
Yeah, I think he plays today. Actually,
it might be coming.
I think
up.
the qualifier is like today or tomorrow that he plays in, and so we actually have him. I already talked to him. He's going to come on next week or whatever. But we're cooking off. Look, it's June, but it's football season. Yes, the NBA finals are still going on, and we're covering that, and baseball's still going on, and poor Padres. We can talk about Will Myers on top of Tatis, but football. We're into the preseason preview, who's going to be there, whatever. So I thought that's one of the reasons I thought, well, let's bring Dave in, kick off football season the right way. We got Danny Woodhead next week. Hopefully he'll be a U.S. Open qualifier. I told Danny, come on either way. If you qualify or don't qualify, I'm not going to be a front runner. But, I mean,
Dave,
I have to repeat your comment that he must have gotten a lot better.
Okay. Yes. No, it's great he got through to the second stage. But, Dave, I'll bet my house he doesn't make it through that.
Wow.
I'm sorry. It's a different world, man.
Is that based on, like, how hard it is or having seen him golf?
No. Not anything against Danny, but there's going to be full-fledged, like, PGA Tour pros at that second stage.
And he has to finish top 8, right?
It's just so hard to make it through. I don't know where he's playing it, but, I mean, now you're running into, like...
Springfield, Ohio Country Club is where he's at.
Okay, so he's going to have to shoot, like, 10 under on 2 rounds in one day. Like,
that's today. Yeah, he is going today. Like,
is it
Monday.
Today? Yeah. It's just so there's so many golfers that are great, but, like, PGA Tour level is just such another level above. I mean, that's like, I don't know, a guy that's playing in the flag football league at Grossmont Community College that is like the best player in the league, thinking like he could go play in the NFL at quarterback. You know what I mean? It's just like night and day.
All right, so we have it on the record. Danny Woodhead will now have a vacation home in San Diego with a beautiful view and a beautiful backyard and the whole thing. Where are you guys going to move to if this happens?
Wherever Danny's living now, I guess.
A trade house, yeah.
Somewhere in Nebraska, maybe. I don't know. Where's he at?
Well, that's where he is.
North Platte.
What's that?
North Platte.
Yeah. Look at you.
It's close to Sand Hill. It's one of the best golf courses I ever played. Sand Hills, Nebraska.
I just found a tweet real quick, and it says former Patriots running back Danny Woodhead played his first 8 holes even par And then the last 4 holes that he played was also even par, but holes 9 through 14, he put 7 over. And then he also triple bogeyed his first hole of the afternoon round. So it's looking pretty bleak right now. I don't want to say anything, but
my house is safe, is what you're saying. Wonder what Danny put up. He doesn't even know it. His house. He's probably got a nice one out there. He got a lot of square footage out there.
Well, I think it was a one-way.
He's tied for 64th right now, and he needs to finish top 8. So very safe, maybe.
It's good.
It's great experience. It's awesome that he even got through. I know tons of local guys here that don't even make it through the first stage, and I'll go play with them, and they shoot like 65 every time out, and then they get in that pressure of the qualifier that shoot 72 and 71 makes it through or something like that,
so
or 70. You know,
what you're saying is Danny is now a much better golfer than you are.
Yeah. No, I'll give him that until we play again. We'll see.
There you go.
You see the competitiveness, right? You can see the little fire.
Match 3, right? San Diego style.
Man, it's tough, dude. I've played with so many great players that are +2, +4. Shoot, like I said, they break par every time they can't sniff the PGA Tour. Those guys are ridiculously good and consistent. That's the thing. They don't make doubles and triples.
No, I got you. All right. So you guys have any questions for Dave? Or let's move on to the rest of the podcast, and we'll include him and let him chime in here.
What's next? Yes.
Well,
if you ask me football questions.
Well, I'll ask you some football, but we're going to do some more stuff here. Can you ever imagine, okay, I don't know how much you've seen or heard, Francisco Lindor got his finger caught in a door and a tuft fracture. Max Scherzer's dog bit him. And the baseball player for the Phils.
Oh, the Phillies, he broke his finger while trying to bunt.
And then what about the guy who threw the bat?
Alex
Baum, he was mad. Third baseman, he was mad, and he cut his face. Yeah.
Threw his bat against the...
It bounced back up in his face?
It bounced up in his neck and cut his neck, and he stayed in the game. So a lot of freak accidents here going on, but can you imagine Dean Spanos tweeting like the owner of the Mets? Lindor just got hurt by a door. Ironic. This is the owner of the Mets.
That's good.
Doesn't Scherzer's dog know not to bite the hand that feeds you? Can you imagine Dean or someone doing that?
No, not at all. I can't imagine them being on social media.
I just think someone... But,
well, that's my first thought. The door, Lindor, really.
First thing that popped,
that was
easy link. Yeah.
My first thought is, I'm not sure we're hearing the full story. But I'm jaded like that.
Right.
Okay, think about it. He says he came back from a massage, a regular massage. Guys get massages all the time on the road. This is not Deshaun Watson, right? Kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But he was shutting the double door in his suite, and he caught his finger to the point that it turned black and blue, and he actually broke it. And I go, okay, maybe if it's the front door to the hotel room, because those are heavy.
Mm-hmm. Big, heavy door.
Heavy doors. But even those, like, you can't slam them shut because they have a little stop because, they don't want to make noise in the hotel. And I don't know. I haven't stayed in a ton of hotel rooms with double doors inside the hotel, but they're usually pretty flimsy doors, and they're not tight seals, right? I mean, at least at the Embassy Suites or wherever I might have stayed with the
He
family.
said one door shut and the other one stayed open. He expected the other one to, stay open. I don't know. Like you said, there's so many details.
That's a heck of a lot of
scissor
force.
action.
Yes.
The heavy door...
But
or what do you think it is? He was playing,
I don't know.
Playing basketball or something.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. But
domestic dispute.
Look, I'm not going there, okay? Yeah. But I'm just saying maybe there was something else. Maybe we're not getting the whole story. I mean, I feel like, all right, I'll put it out there. On more than one occasion, the medical staff has covered for a story that's embarrassing or different, right?
Yeah.
And so what you get out in the public is not always the thing in terms of what happens, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I'm not saying there's anything nefarious there or he was doing anything illegal. Who knows? Maybe he was mad at his, I don't know if he's married or not, mad at his wife or people getting arguments, he slammed the door and it, whatever. But instead of saying that, you say, and I'm not suggesting there's anything, wrong with it. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just jaded.
Yeah.
Matchup, maybe.
Motorcycle, it could be anything.
Right.
Like, that's the way I look at all injuries that way too. And I've kind of been on that side of it too. I played a pickup basketball game.
Or little brothers wrestling.
Yeah, little brothers wrestling. But no, I played a league. It wasn't pickup. It was actually, I was in a league. It was like a few days before training camp. The first camp we had up in Carson, Marty had just, I think, was that Marty's first year?
I think so, with John Butler.
Yeah. And I go up, I get the ball into the basket, I go up, and this guy just fouls me across the arms really hard, right? Like, he's just trying to keep me from, like, even getting up to the basket. And I kind of let up, thinking, like, and the ball came out, I let up. He kind of followed through and pulled me down. And so now I'm face planting. I throw both hands out to, like, break my fall so I don't smash my face into the ground. Both wrists just completely jammed, like, sprained bad. And we have camp like in 2 days, and I don't tell anybody, and I just go out there, and I felt like I was snapping just half speed. I couldn't extend. Usually like there's a snap of the wrist. I was snapping like not following through, and I just faked it through for like 10 days, and then nobody said anything. I felt like I was snapping half speed. The ball was getting there a little bit slower, but not noticeable really. Nobody said anything, and I just kind of like. Then they healed up. I was like icing on my own and like just
you didn't tell me?
I didn't tell you. I didn't tell anybody. Just managing it. I was scared to death of Marty and John Butler. I thought like I would get cut or they'd bring somebody in if I said anything.
Well, that may have been true, but
you never want somebody else coming in. So I just was like,
I'm not going to name any names.
I can do it.
I'm not going to name any names, but I'm not sure our special teams coach even noticed.
No, he didn't notice. Whoever that was in 2003, 4.
Like I said,
2004, 5.
They don't really pay attention to the kickers and long snappers.
Yeah,
they're more about
getting there and
blocking and coverage downfield. And
they didn't notice me like running downfield like this. Like
no,
it's pretty funny. But no, you're right. I mean, injuries. I always think that.
I know about
Justin
the little
Johnson.
I know about the little brother wrestling one. I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Oh, that one too. Like I said, so when I say I'm not sure that that's the explanation, I'm not saying it's anything horrible. I'm just saying lots of times the whole story doesn't get out. The names are changed to protect the innocent. It's not that you weren't doing anything terrible or wrong or people, but like things happen in life and you kind of go, yeah, that's not a good look. So let's go another way. I mean, look, on different extremes, I definitely won't say who. You'll know. I mean, we had a quarterback faint once in a bar. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't drunk. That wasn't it. I'm not going to. And no one knew about it. And then we sort of changed. And it had nothing to do with being drunk in the bar. Believe me, it actually was a medical condition unrelated to that. But you cover and you sort of do things. That's why when I look at Taylor, she goes, "Why are you so suspicious all the time?" Well, because I've been on the other side. Sometimes these stories don't all.
But think about that situation you just said. Today, that would be on video. That would be on Twitter or
TMZ would have picked it up.
TMZ, whatever, anything. And maybe it would have been a little bit after the fact, maybe during. I mean, everybody's got a video. Everybody's posting that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That was a time when not everyone had a cell phone. But that was a pretty closed group of people. And we did get out of there pretty quickly just because I knew it was a bad look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, you're right. I mean, nowadays there's videos of everything. Look, a guy can't even, two Major League Baseball players can't even slap each other in the outfield without there being video. You heard about that, right?
I heard. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I heard about it. Yeah.
All right. What else we got, guys?
You want to lead into tennis? Doug, help us out with that.
Yeah. On the tennis, obviously, we had Zverev go down with his ankle injury just in the semi-final over the weekend. So that's the French done now with Rafa having the win, but now there's a question on Rafa and a foot injury, I believe. in the lead up to Wimbledon. So tennis is full of injuries right now. So very topical for us.
Yeah, well, I think Zverev has a bad ankle sprain, and he's saying he's torn ligaments. Well, that's what an ankle sprain is. Now, will he be able to play at Wimbledon? I think he's had a reasonable chance to play at Wimbledon. It's just how well will he play? Like, if he's had a history of ankle sprains and this is acute on chronic, I think he's got a good chance. If it's brand new, it's going to be harder. And obviously in the sport of tennis, you're the only guy out there you can get exposed. It's sort of harder. And I don't know the nuances of playing on grass versus clay. Obviously on clay, you're supposed to slide around. He didn't slide around, and he got caught off. And Nadal and the foot numbness, we got to figure out what that is. We're going to do a little more research on it. But believe it or not, you can numb your foot and play because all of the control to your foot comes from the leg. So you can numb your foot from pain and play through.
Yes,
So
numbness is the injury, or
Well, he has a foot
pain?
issue, and he's getting injections before every single match.
Numbing it up.
Yeah, right.
I got
for it.
you.
And he said he wanted to play at the French because that's his best tournament, but he doesn't know if he wants to play Wimbledon because he doesn't want to play numb all the time. So.
you've gotten a few numbing injections to play and other injections.
Yeah, Toradol. Just tell him to do the numbing and the Toradol. Perfect. The cocktail.
All right, I got to tell. Since we were very complimentary of you and you are a good friend, I'm going to give you a little bit of grief now. First of all, by the way, you're not the first long snapper to be on our podcast.
I'm hurt.
Well,
Who was the first?
Lonnie Paxton.
Oh, I knew you were going to say Lonnie.
Well, Lonnie's also an investor in Sports Injury Central and stuff. So,
Oh, nice. Good.
so we had him come on to. But we had
Lonnie's
him come on.
a
And
great
we
guy.
had him
Love Lonnie.
We had
Awesome.
to tell some Tom Brady stories and whatever.
Yeah.
At least we got Dave Binn and Pamela Anderson stories. So
Did you tell the X game dinner
Oh.
salt shaker story?
I have not told that.
You didn't bring that up with Lonnie?
So Lonnie Paxton is a big action sports guy. You and Jen came up, and so we had a steak dinner at, what's the name of that place again? I forget the name of the place. On the second floor.
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
The name of
You knew the owner, though.
Yeah, the owner's his name is on it. I forget. Nicest steakhouse there. He was there, and he's a big football fan, so he was talking to Dave and Lonnie, and there might have been some hydration going on, lubrication, and somehow it couldn't have been me. It probably was me. Decided to have a snap off for the check.
That was you. That sounds like
big,
you.
fat salt shaker snap off for the check, and these guys fired that thing so fast. I was like, because they didn't want to pick up the check. It was pretty amazing. Like literally, if the owner didn't catch it, like thankfully he did, it would have broke his nose. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I put it right between his eyes.
oh yeah, it was like.
And I put a fork and a knife in there, too. And I wrapped it in a napkin because the salt shaker seemed too light. And the guy was standing, like, at the
Across the room.
far end of the
This
room.
dinner's still going on when we were doing this.
And I remember looking through my legs, and I saw, there's like rows of tables, and everybody's leaning in, and I got these forks and knives and wrapped up in there. And, it's like the golf shot. Everybody's kind of progressively pinching in to see. And I just said, screw it. I just focused on that dude's forehead, and I just let it rip. And then I just saw his hand go like that. And he had it in his hand. He caught it right before it hit him smack dead in the forehead.
I mean,
and he was like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was hilarious.
and actually, I think he picked up the tab that night.
I think after all that, he's
After
like,
all that,
oh,
he
in the
was-
house. Yeah, it was good.
That was amazing that he caught. I was like, you threw that thing back there so hard. It was.
Did anybody else do what you did? Put the
the only
utensils
way to
on, or
do
was that
it.
just you thinking like that?
That was just me, and then Lonnie did it, and Lonnie kind of shot it up high, and I
Yeah.
think that might have been part of the problem. Like,
you didn't have, your
enough weight.
secret weight
Yep.
yeah.
in the deal. And actually, come to think of it, most people don't know this. You're the all-time Charger. When you sign your one-day contract to retire Chargers? Because technically, you retired a Bronco.
True. Well, I technically didn't even retire. I just kind of like faded off into the distance. But yeah, I don't know. Should I ask Dean about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. maybe I should.
He probably doesn't know about how high you are on the list, right?
He probably doesn't know I'm retired. I mean, I just saw Mike Hollis. You remember him? I just saw he kicked in an Arena League game at 50 years old. Did you know that?
No.
Remember Mike Hollis?
Mike Hollis, I'm not sure.
Might have been a little. He was in camp with us. It might have just been my rookie year. And then he went on and kicked with Jacksonville, had a pretty good career, but then had some back injuries and stuff.
If he was with you your rookie year, he's older than 50.
He's 50.
He's 50, exactly. You're right. It was 2 days ago he played in that arena.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a long time ago, your rookie year. That was my little stat.
That was a stat.
Sorry about that. No, so Lonnie's been on here before.
So Lonnie's the first.
He's the first. You're the second.
All right. Well,
but more intriguing. What was I going to give you grief about? I don't even remember now. We got sidetracked with that. But
no, I'm still hung up on that. I think he needs to write a letter right now. We got to get that number in the Chargers Hall of Fame right there. I mean, that's the jersey retirement's got to be coming, right? You can't retire the number without officially retiring, right?
Well, maybe, but you know, not to get all serious here, but I mean, there's no question you would have been a Chargers Ring of Honor person. But with the team in L.A.
Yeah. Do they even have the Ring of Honor anymore?
I don't know.
I don't remember seeing it. I went to the alumni game last fall against the Giants. First of all, it was like 75% Giants fans in there, all to see the new stadium and whatever.
Sure.
The Chargers killed the Giants in that game. I don't remember the...
It's all electronic now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know what they have. But you should sign a 1-day contract and retire officially.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah.
Want me to work on that?
Well, yeah, too. Do you get a signing bonus for the 1 day? Can you
I'm going to make a comment, but I won't make it.
Can you negotiate something?
You negotiate it, yeah.
Yeah. Could be a first time thing.
Get your agent on it. Yeah. You want me to do it? I'll become the agent.
Sure. What are we going to give me grief about?
I don't know. Probably something else. Who knows? I can't remember. I'll think of it. Give you grief tomorrow.
It'll pop up.
What else we got here to talk about?
I was going to say we normally wrap with the beast of the week, but I think we got to give that. We got to get that Dave for the performing with the 2 sprained wrists. I feel like that's like that's beast of the week material.
You know what I was going to give you? Maybe I'll give. Look, Dave. In the first half of his career, I don't need nothing. I've never heard. I'm all medical. And the first half of his career is like, why are they doing this Toradol shot? I mean, and say I would run around locker room. Here's my story at Junior. I'd say, okay, we're giving you the Toradol. Junior always likes it. And I said, you know what? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing. It's legal. But I'm not trying to give everyone in the locker room Toradol. So can you just, keep it on the down low a little bit? It's fine.
To Junior.
This is the Junior.
Back, yeah.
So the next thing.
And then the line just got longer and longer.
Well, then he went around locker room. The next game he'd come in and go, Toradol, vitamin T, it's time for my Toradol. And he'd announce it as he walked through the locker room just because I told him, it's not bad to give and it's legal, but just keep it on the relative down low. I don't want a line of people doing it every week. And for the first few years, you were like, I'm not touching that.
First 10 years.
Yeah. But then you had an injury once, and you did.
Yeah.
And every game from then on.
Yeah. I had a shoulder. Something was wrong with my shoulder. And it was bugging me. You go, you know what? Just come in tomorrow. I'll give you some Toradol. See how it goes. And I'm like.
Then you were like.
All right, cool. And I take it. And then everything else, you don't realize all the little aches and pains you have until you do something like that and you feel good again, fresh and not hurt anywhere. And it was amazing.
Well, and that's the thing. People think it's like a pain-killing injection to play the game. No, it's for the next day so that you feel better the next day.
And coming out after halftime, it was hard for me to come out. You'd be stiff and kind of get going again. And I came out halftime. I felt like I was 22 again. And then then on Monday, the soreness isn't there. You get a good workout in. It was, And every day, every game after that, I was like...
When you played in that Broncos playoff game...
Oh, dude. I was so bent out of shape on that one.
You were very bent out of shape. He's calling me saying, this guy's not going to give me Toradol. You got to go talk to the team doctor. Can you fly out here and give me Toradol? I need my Toradol. And I just from the early part of your career, I was like, what are all these guys doing? You get this Toradol. You were like, I need that Toradol.
Yeah. Yo, they were going to give it, but like at breakfast. And the game was like 8 o'clock that night. I'm like, no. I need it like 45 minutes before the game. Not in the morning. I mean, this is all wrong, dude. Come on. I'm like used to my ways.
I was
Dave,
also wrap it up with the wrestler. Show him the video. And
this is Cody Rhodes.
Oh, of course. I know Cody.
He tore his pec.
Jeez.
And he wrestled like we talked about. So we're going to give Cody the Beast of the Week, that he played through a torn pec.
He gave him the win as well.
Yeah,
how long after the tear? Is that like a couple days?
By the bruising, this is not fake, by the way. That's what it looks like when you have a big pec tear.
Yeah.
You know, at combines, every couple years there's somebody who tears their pec doing the 225 for reps max.
Yeah.
And then, so he did this weight training. It's probably 2 weeks ago.
Benching.
Yeah, it was a week.
Yeah,
I don't think you can do that anymore. But
about a week.
My main question for these two guys, apparently this was a big money game.
But he wrestled through, and
does
of course
anyone know? Do they follow us?
But
I mean,
we're still doing the
big
Beast
money
of the Week.
fantasy.
They
should.
That's
our guy Weddle.
Anyways,
All right,
that's
our
right.
Beast of the Week, and
if he stopped,
we're thrilled to have Walt's been on board for a while.
And
ultimately
finished the game. That first down stop for 9 yards on the Bengals' final drive, which they did not convert the extra yard in the next 3 downs and turned it over on downs.
Right, that was a key.
Weddle's shoulder tackle, not wrapping tackle, stopped him for a 9-yard gain on that final Bengals possession.
So he started protecting the arm.
He changed the way he wrapped up.
Just going shoulder.
You can't wrap with your pec. So he
did he put like the brace thing on?
Yeah, it doesn't help though. I mean,
I know.
You look at the video; he was clearly favoring it. Yeah. And if there was another game, you would have seen that on film, scattered out, and you'd run off his right shoulder. There's no way he could do it. But in game,
was there talk of that during the game? I don't remember.
If you follow our Twitter and our score, there was. Yeah. First quarter of the game, we were like, "Oh yeah, he tore his pec," but. These guys were surprised. I said, but he's not going to come out of the game. That's Weddle.
How do you know it's a pec versus a shoulder injury? Was that a close call?
There's so many different things. I mean,
you can just tell though. There's no doubt.
I mean, why 2 3/4 revolutions instead of 3 1/2? I mean, there's a lot of technicalities that go into it based on the video and studying it and so forth. And I mean, I could say ancient Chinese secret, but I'm not going to confirm that.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, at least you said
Mr.
it.
Miyagi.
Mr.
That's
Miyagi.
Japanese. Yeah.
No, this is kind of what we do when we're sitting around doing nothing. So sorry about that. Anyways, Cody Rhodes. Anyways, thanks for joining us, Dave. Thanks, Doug, Taylor, Justin.
Thank you.
We probably went a little long, but I mean, all that was missing was a beverage on the table. But
I know.
Although that's what Danny Woodhead's podcast is. It's like you're supposed to break out a drink and
bring a beer or
whiskey
or something,
or some whiskey or something.
I like that.
Yeah, I bet we would have got some juicier stories if we would have primed up a little bit there.
Yeah. Get me next time.
Yeah, there it is. All right.
Get a 6-pack's always good.
Well, that reminds us. So either we usually record at 11 a.m., but if we're going to have a beverage, I don't know that we can do 11 a.m. with Danny.
Make mimosas, right? Yeah.
Well, me too for him. Anyways. All right, guys. Thanks. Pro Football Doc podcast. Football season is here. Lots of football information. NBA Finals still going on. And hopefully you enjoyed some of the fun stories. And I apologize for taking so long. I don't know. I just never.
Was it long?
No. For like having you come on. The podcast has been on for a while now.
No, that's right. It's my first podcast, actually.
Really?
I've just started listening to more of them. The golf ones, like Subpar. Now that I know you have one, I'll start listening to yours.
Not sure about that, but
yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, the first one that I've been on, just started listening to them last year or so.
First podcast ever. All right, we'll take that.
Yeah,
and of course our guy Craig is thrilled because he's a Cal guy. So
go Bears.
Our CEO, he's there smiling. Yeah. Normally you realize we never get Craig in here, but because you're a Cal guy, you have to come in here. Yeah. So you might have to take a picture or sign an autograph for him for the Bears.
Yeah, we're going to put you in the Pro Football Doc Ring of Honor. We're going to raise your number in the rafters here in the studio.
Oh, I'd be honored. Thank you.
There we go.
All right, thanks. We'll catch you next week, and check out sicscore.com for all the latest injury updates and info. Thanks for watching and listening.